These are my mistakes from when I hit my first 1K day, and what you guys can learn on it, right? So the whole premise of this video is when you make an emotional mistake, right? When you're scaling. Now, I noticed the first time when I hit my 1K day, I wasn't very good at bumping budgets or scaling, right? Which in theory it's simple, but when you're actually you're in the game, you're fucking bumping budgets, you're like, oh fuck, do I bump it by 50? Do I bump it by 100? Do I do 50%? Do I do 20%? And then you're like, oh shit, I'm profitable today, but the next day you're like, you might be break even, you're like, oh fuck, do I downscale? You're just going through all these different stuff in your mind. And one thing that I can say is that Facebook is not a fast game. It's not like TikTok. It's not like you can scale to 10K or 10K in one day. No, it's not how it's gonna work. You're gonna get fucked by Facebook if you try to do that. Now, for the issue that I had when I scaled was, first of all, I scaled too fast on Facebook. So when I scaled too fast, I got my CPA rised, which is cost per acquisition, that rised. And then I had to figure out a problem with my AOV. And my AOV for the product that I was doing was about, I think, at that time, 35. And that's dog shit when you're trying to scale and CPA is rising, because I was acquiring a customer for about $30. So I needed to get my AOV at least to 40, to make at least some profit or make them buy multiple, right? And so you have to get ready for this. And when you do everything so fast, everything comes at you, right? And also, when you scale so fast, you're gonna have issues with Facebook. For example, I scaled way too fast. I scaled to 1K days in 3 days or something, and I bumped budgets, and I'm doubled a campaign, just going everywhere, just making all these emotional decisions. And it fucked me at the end of it, because what happened is I crashed and burned. When the ad account got banned, I got a 20% hold on Shopify, and all this stuff happened, right? And that was because I was doing emotional and I wasn't doing a technical decision. And what I mean by scaling technically is for example, day one, you're profitable. Okay, it's profitable, it's good. You bump by 20% the same day, at the same time every day. So for example, the whole day is profitable, you might bump 20% at nighttime. And so you bump 20% and then you wait the next day. If that day is profitable again, you're still chilling, you're still making money, then you bump 20% again the same time you did the last time. And then next day comes around, day 3. Let's say, fuck, you're break even, right? For example, right? You don't want to downscale. What you want to do is you want to wait. What I do, my general rule is I wait 3 days, right? So if it's uneven day 1, unprofitable day 2, and maybe let's say uneven again day 3, I downscale 20% again. And that's what I do, because when you're under $1,000 budget, you're going to have inconsistent days, if that makes sense. So if you're doing 50 or 100, you're going to have days that you're profitable. Some days you're break even. Some days you might be in the red, right? But they're inconsistent until you hit 1K a day in ad spend. That's when everything starts, making more sense. But just stop making emotional decisions. That's my biggest thing. Is when you have your ad account, don't touch it for the rest of the fucking day. Do your tweaks that you do first thing in the morning at the same time every day. Do your tweaks, leave it. Don't do anything else. Okay? And if you do that at the same time next day. Leave it for the whole day. Don't do anything else. And some people say, what do I do for the rest of the day instead of being in my ad account? Now, if you're scaling, this is exactly what you should do. Do more research. Do more market research. And you have to understand your customer the best. And that's going to take a little bit. And you also have to understand what your competitors are doing. You also have to understand what, let's say, the sophistication of your market. What are your competitors doing? Did your competitors just copy you with the exact offer you're doing? Okay, and then you have to now exaggerate your offer even more, right? And so you always have to keep researching, making new ads, just be prepared to scale for the next day and the days to come. Now, if you're scaling, for example, you're bumping budgets, now you have to scale with that. So you have to keep introducing new ad concepts. So when you do this, you add a new ad set, put one concept, put into an ad set in your campaign. I know that people have done, for example, they dupe their campaign and they just put one ad set and they put their ads in there. Now, it's not wrong, but I personally don't like doing it that way. The reason why is because when you put everything under one campaign, everything works together. They help each other. But when you put into another campaign, it can't be used with everything else. It can't, it doesn't help everyone. Like, I want you to think about it. For example, if you have some ads that are not performing the best, but you have one ad that's performing really well, think about it as all these ads are people, and they're carrying this big ass boat, and in order to carry this boat, you need 8 people. But one of those people might be a little bit weaker. Some others might be very strong. But guess what? If you remove that weaker person that's carrying that boat, everyone feels the weight, and that boat just got heavier for everybody because the weakest person just left, right? If that makes sense? So that's why you don't want to cut ads. But instead, what you should do is you should replace the ad that is not doing the best, but try to find another ad that can replace it for its spot, and then you can remove this ad and just keep optimizing this ad until it's better and that everything else improved, right? And so, yeah, just don't make emotional decisions. That's the biggest thing. Like, you have to be stoic during the process. Like, yes, I know you see your money going down and you're like, oh fuck, what do I do? Like, how do I get it, how do I like make sure I don't get in the red or like go into like fucking generational debt, Like, you just leave it for the day. I promise you, if you are scaling, you did hit profitable, that day isn't going to fuck you up, if you just leave it that day. Of course, yes, you can check it, but don't make any decisions. Don't turn anything off, don't turn anything on, don't bump anything. Bump it once in that day, don't touch it, and then bump it the same time the next day if it's profitable. If it isn't profitable, leave it and let it spend again, because it's always gathering new information. The pixel is always gathering. That's what you're putting your spend towards. It's like a brain. You're always feeding this brain more information about your product, and the more information it has, it makes you getting a customer cheaper. So, anyways, that was my mistakes. Take it as you will. Either learn from it or don't, but thank you guys for tuning in. I'm rooting for you boys. And, ciao.